Hello all, I welcome you to this basic English course. Today's module is going to be on conversation skills for basic communication. In this module, we'll see few basic introductory questions that will be handy to you when you get introduced to somebody. Let's begin. Let's start with the question, how are you? How do you say that? How are you? How are you? Let's suppose you're talking to friends. You happen to meet somebody very close to you. Then instead of how are you, you may also use what's up. How do you say that? What's up? Now let's look at the responses. What are the different responses that you can give to this question, how are you? Or what's up? Let's suppose you're doing good. You're happy. Then you may say, I'm fine. Or I'm good. Or if you're feeling really good, you may say, I'm pretty good. Now, if you're just okay and you don't want to specify your mood, then you may say, I'm okay or not bad. Now, if you're in doing great, you may say, not great, not so good, or not so well. Let's repeat once again. Let's look at the responses. You may say, I'm fine, or I'm good, I'm pretty good, I'm okay, not bad, not great, not so good, not so well. So, one thing that needs to be noted here is when someone asks this question to you, how are you, or what's up, they don't expect you to elaborate your response or your answer. For example, you wouldn't respond to it in a way that you elaborate your emotions or feelings. An appropriate response would be one among the following that is already been discussed, which is I'm fine, or I'm good, I'm not okay, I'm okay, I'm great, or I'm not great. But you wouldn't say I got up and I was feeling some kind of pain in my tummy, and I brushed my teeth, and then I was doing little okay. So you understand what that is? You wouldn't elaborate your answer. That's not an appropriate response to this question. Okay? Fine. Now, the next question. What do you do? It's important to understand the difference between what are you doing and what do you do. These two questions may sound very similar, but they mean different. If someone asks me, what are you doing? I would say, I'm presenting a video on English. And if someone asks me, what do you do? I would say, I am a teacher. Can you guess what the difference between these two questions are? The question, what are you doing, questions your action at that moment, that very minute. So if someone is asking me, what are you doing? I would say what? I would say I'm presenting a video on English. And if someone asks you, what do you do? It's another way of asking, what is your job? So native speakers of English find this question, what is your job, too direct and therefore a little awkward. Therefore, they rephrase it and ask, what do you do? So this question, what do you do, in a way means, what is your job? So how do you respond to that? You may say, I'm a teacher, I'm an engineer, I'm a farmer, I'm a student. Depending on what job you do, you may answer it. Now there's another way of answering to that question based on the place you work. A teacher works in a school. A doctor or a nurse or an attendant works in a hospital. So you may say, I work at a school. I work at a hospital. I work at a law firm. Now let's suppose you're working for a very famous institution or a very famous company. In that case, you may say, I work for. I work for IIT Madras. I work for the Microsoft. I work for the Indian Express. I work for the Hindu, right? Let's just go back and see. So if you're starting with I am, then you may fill your profession. I am a teacher. Get it? Now, if you are going to specify the place where you're working, then you may start with I work at. I work at a school. I work at a hospital. I work at a law firm. And if you work for a famous institution, then you may say I work for IIT Madras. Got the difference? Good. Now, it's when someone tells you what their job is, it's always good to respond with a positive comment. You may say, oh, how interesting, or oh, that must be exciting, or really, that's nice. But make sure that you're genuine in your response. The listener should not feel that you're making a fake comment. Now let's see how we may ask about hobbies. Again, native speakers of English refrain from asking this question or using the word hobbies. So instead of asking, do you have any hobbies or what are your hobbies, they would prefer asking, what do you do for fun? What do you do for fun? Or what do you do in your free time? What do you do in your free time? I like to watch movies. Or I like to read books. I like to play tennis. Or I like to play cards. There's another way of responding to that. I like watching movies. Here you're using verb plus ing form. So in that case, we strike to from the sentence. Instead of saying I like to watch movies, you may say I like watching movies. Or if you want to specify how much you like doing something, then you may say I really like watching movies, or I really like reading books. I really love cooking. Or if you don't want to be too specific and you want to be just plain about it, you may say I kind of like watching movies. How do you say that? I kind of like watching movies. Or you may say, I like hanging out with my friends and stuff like that. What does stuff like that mean here? Meaning it includes all other activities that you would do with your friends while you hang out with them. It could be watching movies or going to a restaurant or having a coffee in a coffee shop. Now, the next question, and that is, where are you from? So, depending on the context, we can rephrase this question and ask, which city are you from? When do you ask that? When do you ask which city are you from? So, you meet somebody in a small city, you know that, or you feel that that person doesn't belong to that city, then you may ask, which city are you from? For instance, you meet somebody at Patna, then you may ask, which city are you from? Maybe he may respond saying, I'm from Delhi. Or you meet somebody at the national capital and you feel that person doesn't belong to that state and you would like to know where that person is from. Then you may ask, what state are you from? And let's suppose you meet somebody abroad and you would like to know where that person is from, then you may ask, what country are you from? So depending on the context, we can rephrase this question and ask, which city are you from, which state are you from, or which country are you from? Now, how do you respond to that? You may say, I am Brazilian, or I'm an Indian. So you may use I am, and then your nationality, which country you're from. Nationality is a country that you're from. There's another way of responding to that. You may say, I am from India, which means you are an Indian. You may say, I am from India. So when you are using the term from, you fill it up with the country you are from, right? So how do I phrase it? How do I say that? I am from India. Okay? Now, if you're from a world famous city, a very known place, then you may say, I'm from New Delhi. How do you say that? I am from New Delhi. I am from Mumbai. I'm from Mumbai. Now, there's another polite way of asking this question. Some people find it a little awkward to ask where you're from. So instead, let's suppose you're meeting somebody in New York and you would like to know where they are from. You may ask, are you from New York? How do you ask that? Are you from New York? That person may say, no, I'm from some other city, the city that he or she comes from. Or, yes, I'm from New York. Let's take an Indian state. So you meet somebody in Tamil Nadu and you would like to know if that person is a Tamilian. So you may ask, are you from Tamil Nadu? How do you ask that? Are you from Tamil Nadu? How do you respond to that? Yes, I'm from Tamil Nadu. Or, no, I'm not from Tamil Nadu. I'm from Uttar Pradesh. Now, there's another way of answering to that. You may answer denoting the region you come from. So, suppose you're from Kerala, you might say, I'm from the south. You're from Kashmir, you may say, no, I'm from the north. You're from Rajasthan, you may say, no, I'm from the west. You're from the northeast, and you can say, no, I'm from the northeast. Now, the question, what is your name? You rarely hear native speakers of English ask, what is your name? Instead, they introduce themselves and ask, and you? So how do you do that? For instance, the appropriate way would be to introduce myself, which is I'm going to say, I am Karthika. And you? So this and you encompasses the question, what is your name? So how do you ask that? I am Karthika, and you? So let's say I'm asking Veena what her name is. How do I ask? I am Karthika, and you? So Veena says, I am Veena. Now let's suppose I have met with somebody, I have gotten introduced to them before, but I don't remember their name. So it's always nice to start with an apology. So you may say, I'm sorry, what was your name again? So in this case, when you're asking what was your name again, you are telling the listener that you remember meeting him or her, but you don't remember his name. In this case, you are letting the other person know that you're sorry for the fact that you don't remember his name, but you remember meeting them. So how do you say that? I'm sorry, what was your name again? I'm sorry, what was your name again? Now, another interesting aspect of is that if you use a person's name at the beginning or at the end of a question or a sentence, you are interested in the conversation. So the use of name in conversation generally shows interest. So instead of asking, what do? You may ask, Ria, what do you do? So you may fill the person's name and then question. Or you may ask, what do you do for fun, Ria? What do you do for fun, Ria? But also make sure that you do not use a name too often, as it may sound very strange. Now, how do you get contact details? How do you ask for contact details? Do you go and ask somebody, what is your phone number? Do you do that? That's too direct. Particularly if you're asking the opposite sex, that's not the appropriate um, way to ask. So instead, you may request the person if you could get their phone number or if you could get their email address. So how do you do that? Could I get your number, please? Could I get your email address, please? So in this case, you're less direct and you're actually softening the request. For formal and official purposes, people these days, particularly youngsters, prefer to connect by emails over phone calls. So in that case, it would be ideal for you to ask someone their email rather than their phone number. Let's practice once more. How do you ask? How do you ask for contact details? You may ask, could I get your number, please? Or could I get your email ID, please? How do you respond to this question? Sure, my number is 987-654-321. Or, sure, my email address is xyz@gmail.com. That was a mistake. Or you may say, sure, it's, and then the phone number or your email ID. Sure, it's 987-654-321. A lot of youngsters these days have Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or Skype accounts. In that case, you may also connect to them through social media. So you may ask, are you on Facebook? Are you on LinkedIn? Are you on Twitter? Are you on Skype? How do you respond to that? You may say, yes, I am. Or if you're not, you may say, no, I'm not. And when you're saying, no, I'm not, give them an alternate option through which they can contact you. So you may say, no, but you can contact me on my email. How do you say that? No, but you can contact me on my email. The next question that we are going to see is, where do you live? Where do you live? Pronounce this right. It's not leave, it's live. Where do you live? How do you respond to that? If you're staying in a famous part of the city or a known part of the city, then you may say, do you know Adyar in Chennai? I live there. Do you know Mylapore in Chennai? I live there. Or again, if you're living near to a famous landmark or a famous institution or a hospital, then you may say, for example, IIT campus or Anna University or Cancer Institute, I may say, I live near IIT campus. I live near IIT campus. I live near the Cancer Institute. I live near the Anna University. Or you can say that along train lines. Let's suppose there's metro line and you live on the yellow line near Patel Nagar in metro station. Then you say, I live on the yellow line near Patel Nagar metro station. You live on the yellow line. I live on the yellow line near Patel Nagar metro station. Or a famous railway station. I live near Gindi railway station. How do you respond to that? If you know where that place is, if you're familiar with the place, you may say, oh yeah, I know it. I live near there. Or if you don't know that place, if you aren't familiar with that place, you may say, oh no, I'm afraid. I don't know. How do you say that? Oh no, I don't know. Or you may also say, oh really? Oh really? Now how do you return the question? So you may ask, so, where do you live? Or, how about you? How about you? It's always nice if you give comments about the area, if you're familiar about that area. So you may say, oh, that's a really nice area. But make sure that you leave no negative comments about the area. The next question is, where did you go to school? School in American English also means university. So if you are in America and someone asks you, where did you go to school? They might be asking you, where did you go to the university? So this question is a good small talk question or a conversation starter. In Europe and in India, we have a clear distinction between school and university. So in India, you may ask somebody, where did you go to university? Where did you go to university? So how do you answer that? You may say, I went to, fill it with the university name, in, and again fill it with the city name. For example, I went to New York University in America. I went to New York University in America. How do you respond to that? Wow, that's a really famous university. You respond with a positive comment. How do you say that? Wow, that's a really famous university. Now let's suppose someone says, I didn't go to college. Make sure that you do not act surprised and question why. In that case, how do you continue the conversation? Make a positive comment or ask, oh really? Did you go straight into a job? How do you ask that? Oh really? Did you go straight into a job? A good follow-up question when you're talking about universities or school is also, what did you study? What did you study? Or what was your major? Which means you're basically asking, what did you specialize in? With that, we come to the end of this module. Hope you have picked up a few sentences that will come handy to you when you're conversing with a stranger or when you're getting introduced to someone. I will meet you with a different topic on a different day with a different module. Until then, stay safe, take care, and happy learning.